Are we done talking about Drake May's shoulder now, or what?
No.
Are we done?
It's a situation where, we'll see. The first injury report of Super Bowl week will come out tomorrow.
Come on, the Patriots will have 15 questionable people. It's still the Patriots. They may have changed the coach, changed everything.
Unless they
right?
list him as full. Right. You're right. I mean, everyone was questionable last week. They've got that history going way back, but they've removed people from the injury report this season as well.
Right.
We'll see. It's something in that at minimum, it caused them to reduce his reps last week. Does not sound like anything that people are concerned is going to drastically alter his ability to play on Sunday. You just don't know, though. It's, Drake said it himself when he was asked about it. He's like, somebody asked him, like, are we making too much of this? He's like, well, it's a quarterback's throwing shoulder. Yeah, exactly. You just don't know until you get into the game just how much, if at all, it might limit him. There's different things you can do to manage pain in those situations. What we have to see is just exactly how functional is he. I don't get any sense, talking to Elliott last night, talking to other people, I don't get any sense that we're really concerned about Drake May. He's going to start in this game, but, just in terms of, does it impact him at all? Could he have a setback? I mean, we all, I think, still have PTSD from watching Carson Wentz's right shoulder injury get gradually worse and worse and worse until, he's basically being shoveled off the field by the end of that game against the Rams this season. You just don't know. Again, I don't get the sense it's something major, but it is something to monitor just because it's quarterback's throwing shoulder and he was limited going into the Super Bowl.
Okay. And Darnold's oblique. Are we done talking about that?
Not done talking about because he's going to have to manage it. It did not. I was actually, pleasantly surprised for Sam that it was not more of an impact in the NFC Championship game, because anytime you're talking about whether it's a pitcher in baseball or a quarterback, anybody who's a thrower, those oblique injuries can progressively get worse. You never know if the wrong movement is going to cause it to get worse. I never saw him hampered. I never saw him, wincing at all through the course of that game. Again, they've been limiting his reps. They're being very cautious because the last thing they want is, an extra rep in a Friday practice, which is where he got hurt initially, was in the last practice of the week before, the conference championship game. And all of a sudden, or maybe it was the divisional game, but all of a sudden he pops up on the injury report and you're like, uh-oh, that's not a good thing here. But don't get any sense that we're concerned about that one either. Both quarterbacks should be healthy, just a matter of, making sure they don't suffer setbacks in the game.
Okay, so what are you looking what are you looking in your notebook about for Super Bowl 60 you'd like to throw out there for everybody? Tom.
Well, one notable injury is Harold Landry for the Patriots. I mean, that's a pretty significant player. Their leading sack guy was not able to play in the AFC Championship game. They gave him a podium at Super Bowl media night. There was one guy who was camped out with a camera in front of him for about 4 hours by himself, so he was very interested in Harold Landry. But I would say anytime you're talking about the best pass rusher on a team who didn't play in the last game, let's see. They listed him as questionable last week. Let's see if he's able to ramp it up and give it a go, because that's a pretty big piece of this. Same thing with Charles Cross, the Seahawks. No reason to think that he's not going to play, but again, limited through the course of the practice week. How effective is he going to be? If we zoom out, just, in terms of some of the macro storylines here, you got two head coaches who have not been in this game. You got two quarterbacks who have not been in this game. You got a lot of people on both sides who have not been, at this point. Every team's, Super Bowl week is a little bit different. I know the Patriots were out at Stanford yesterday. The weather was nice enough that Elliott told us he got sunburned at practice, which is a little different than 15 years ago when he was in Dallas with the Packers and there was an ice storm and no one could get around all week. But they were out there. They did a normal 90-minute practice. They're going through this like a normal week. The Seahawks will get rolling really in earnest on the field tomorrow. And we'll see who handles these elements better. The weather is great here in Santa Clara, or I'm up in San Francisco now, but it looks like it'll be in the 70s on game day. So that part should not be, any type of a significant factor. But who better handles the entire week and just kind of the uniqueness of the extended pregame, the extended halftime, all those things. Vrabel was in it obviously as a player. He does have that experience. Mike McDonald has plenty of different resources he can go to, but tons of players on both sides and coaches who've not been in the Super Bowl before. To me, that's always one of the biggest storylines, is just who handles the uniqueness of this week better.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.